All right, good afternoon, students.
Good
We are,
afternoon.
Ananta,
we are starting
Good
our
afternoon, sir.
good afternoon. We are starting our lecture, uh, and the topic we were discussing that was writing skills or mechanics of writing. We can say that was the uh, unit we are discussing, and we discussed about how we're supposed to write down introduction, how we have to define or describe things in the writing. In today's lecture, we'll try to see that an overall view of that how we're supposed to write. Like in an introduction, we discussed that how we're supposed to break the ice because this is the most uh, toughest thing because if we have to start something, sometime we get caught somewhere and we think of that what I should do over here means you will not find out uh, the exact idea of starting it. So in the last lectures, we were discussing that how we're supposed to write down the introduction. So now we are moving further, and in today's lecture, we try to see that if we have to write our body part or the rest of the text, we can say this thing. There are few things we should also keep in our mind. So let's first of all move on to that what it should be the tone of the text and how we're supposed to write it. So I'm going to present my screen so that you can see it must be visible to everybody now. So let's come on to the topic that is describing or defining, classifying everything that comes over here means what it should be the tone in writing. So what did they say? Tone is the attitude your writing implies. Just like tone of voice, tone in writing gives much more context beyond the words used. It can reveal intention or the conceal it. As memorist and writing coach Adair Lara says, tone is what the dog hears. So it is just a kind of idiom or the old saying it has been used over here. They are just trying to tell that whatever you write down, it has got a tone. And when the reader will read it, would understand what exactly a writer is wanting to tell. In introduction, we learned that we're supposed to come up with the background information. We come up with the what we are going to present to the audience. There should be interest into it. Okay. So in the next part, what they're trying to tell that what kind of a tone we should use it because the tone it matters a lot. The way reader it would perceive it, it will be actually the base of the entire communication. We are learning formal communication. I am again repeating, we are not talking about any other kind of communication. It's not poetry, it's not, you know, literature or something like that. We are not writing novels over here. Even it has got the communication between a writer and a reader, but we have to strictly follow one thing that is, we are following the rules and the commands of formal communication. For example, your boss sent you a Slack message that said, "Do you have a minute to talk?" You might think, "Oh no, what's wrong?" If she rephrased it as, "Got time to chat real quick," you might be less alarmed. There isn't a negative force lurking in the background. That contrast is because of tone. They're saying, just give example over here that if your boss has written words like that, you have a minute to talk, you might think there is something wrong. He or she is calling you because there is a complaint. That is why boss has sent you a message like that. But if somebody would rephrase it like, you got a time real quick to talk to me, so it's more polite, it's courteous, so it's not alarming. So somehow we can take idea from it that in the tone, whatever it has been written, that would be a message for us to understand. Us means for a reader to understand it. While the emotional response to take away from a message may not necessarily be the intention of the sender, it still exists and people will seek it out when reading. If the reader does not respond the way you want them to, says Lara, you don't have a reader. So Lara is again saying this thing that if the reader does not respond the way you want, it means you don't have a reader. Means to say that they are trying to give you a hint. It means whatever effort you have put into your writing, it is not appropriate, it is not 100%. So if they are listening, if they are not responding basically, it means they are not getting. If they are not getting, they will not respond you back. And if they do not respond you back, it means you do not have a reader. So there is no work of doing communication in that environment. Like language itself works because people agree on the meaning behind words. Cultural norms often dictate how those are perceived. And it takes knowledge of those norms and expectations as well as context of the conversation to be able to convey the intended emotions. The stakes are often elevated to match the importance of message. More attention is warranted. Norris Second is well versed in this phenomenon. When I'm doing a sensitivity read, I typically examine very single aspect of the work: the language, the content, the plot, the psychology of the character. Uh, in the context, it could be political or personal. They say inequity doesn't exist in a vacuum, and neither does humanity. I have to mind the work incredibly closely if I'm going to help the author complete a piece that doesn't further marginalize folk who are often not portrayed or not loving portrayed on the page. It's very typical language, don't get confused into it. I'll tell you what is the crux of it. What they're just trying to tell, they're just trying to pass a message to you. What is the message? That tone, like language itself, works because people agree in the meaning behind words. So whatever words you would use to pass your emotions, that would only be noted down by the reader. You cannot later say this thing that, as I've told you that, I was asking very general, but the person took it in a wrong way. But before you describe that, the person who took you in a wrong way, what message did you convey? What was your tone into it? Right? So as in a voice, we can understand if I'll make my voice harsh, so you will understand if there is a word come in. So if I'll make my tone harsh, you could understand that the speaker is not in a good mood or is angry on because of XYZ reasons. But if I simply say that please come in, it means you can understand that person is generally is very you can say that commonly asking you to just please get in. So similarly, when you write down the tone it affects, in the body that matters a lot. Okay, that is the main what you call the describing or the classifying of the information. Okay, let's discuss. There is one example here they have given, but I'd like to come up to classifying. Classification is a method of paragraph or essay development in which a writer arranges people, objects, or ideas with shared characteristics into classes or groups. A classification essay often includes examples and other supporting details that are organized according to the types, kinds, segments, categories, or parts of a whole. Now, what they're trying to tell, these are the technical things we are discussing about writing. So, what they're trying to say, when you classify something, they say you need to include examples, supporting details, organized in such a way according to the types, kinds, segments, and categories. So that is what you call a classification. So they are just trying to tell, now you have come up, now you have entered into the segment of your body, and what you're supposed to do here, you should see this thing, that how you classify the information. So it's like, it's quite common in your group discussion, because tomorrow when you will sit for your interviews for the job, might the first thing it would be a group discussion. You people will think of, sir, why a group discussion when we are from the technical field? First of all, every company would like to judge you on the basis of your character. Character means how do you respond in different situations. So they try to see that how would you react. And if I'll ask you, are you a good person? Everybody will say, yes, I am a good person. Nobody say that I am bad. Similarly, if I'll ask, are you confident? Everybody would say that I am confident. But group discussion is a formula to validate, to find out whatever you have said is true or not. So they'll give you a topic, and when they'll give you a topic, they try to find out that how good are you into, very importantly, underline, posing your opinion. That's more important. We are not fighting. A lot of people, they think of group discussion is very aggressive. That if it's discussion. Discussion means group. In group, number of people, they are discussing something. There is one topic. So being aggressive does not mean that you are positive. Aggressive is not a solution in group discussion. So what you're supposed to do, they are trying to tell that you need to know first of all how you can pose your opinion. I'll tell you another example, very practical. Recently you have seen elections have just gone. So what we have a phenomena, if in a one house, in a one family, father, he votes to one particular party, there are chances that 99% all other members of the family, they would also vote to that party. So what is happening over here? It's not a fight. It has not become aggressive. They're just trying to tell that you should learn that how can you pose your opinion. Otherwise, you will become a person who would be just followers, who would just listen to the others and would do it. You will never become a leader. So that's very important. You should know. Again, I am repeating, we are not fighting, but we are presenting our opinion. It's not 100% that every time your opinion will be taken. There are possibilities people will neglect, will not approve it, but there are possibilities people will accept your opinion. So what I'm just trying to tell, that have you posed your opinion in the family? Have you said that I do not think that I should go for that party because it includes examples and supporting detail according to the types, kinds, segments. So you can see which is shown on your screen. So when in the family, when you talk, we should have the detail, we should have the examples, we should have the supporting details to that opinion. Then you would see this thing that people would start taking you seriously. They would say this thing, okay, when you are posing opinion, you do not pose opinion on the basis of emotions. You are not posing, opinions on the basis of someone else's has said. You are posing your opinion because you actually literally think that this is my opinion and this is how I should go. So that is why this is what it is called classification. That when you write down something in your body, whether it's a letter, whether it's a report, whether it's an essay, what are you supposed to do? You try to be calm, try to see that if you are in favor of, like in yesterday's or day before yesterday's topic, you can think of, you know, the topic was that what do you think online education is better than offline education? So in introduction, you have posed, you took one side, you said that, okay, according to me, or I believe that, online education is better than offline education. Then you should be ready for what that in the body, you have to prove that. So out of you, a lot of students, that's why I have said that you are writing well, we just have to organize it. Right? It's like a quiz you must have seen in some of applications when you try to open it up. So Google, it asks you, it shows you that these are number of pictures. You need to jot it down in an arranged way. So when you arrange it in a sequence, so tell you, okay, you are right and you can go ahead. So similarly, when you write it, you all know that what you're supposed to write down. What we are doing over here, we are just learning that how we can make sequence of writing it. Right? So when I said that, yes, I am in opinion of, or I think that online education is better than offline education, or offline education is better than online education, whatever is your viewpoint, you should have supporting detail, you should have examples to prove it. And some of you had written down in your text. In your last video, you can check. A lot of you have written down like online education is better because we can record lectures, we can have more access to number of what we call opinions, because at the same time we can surf on internet and we can see that what information it has been provided by the different authors or different websites or any other resources. So this is your supporting detail. You just do not say that I think that online education is good, and after that in the body you do not have the point to support it. So in body, that's very important. That is very important as per your word limit. For example, again I am repeating, if it's 400 or 500 words, you need to at least write down 2 paragraphs, right? 2 to 3, it depends upon you, but minimum you should write down 2 paragraphs. One will be your introduction, 2 paragraphs for the body, and then the last will be for the conclusion. So if it's a short conversation, then you can restrict yourself up to 1 paragraph. Okay, if it's 100 and 150 words, what can you do? You can restrict yourself, right? So this is what I suggest you, that you need to see that how many paragraphs you would like to use in your writing. I think you have got my idea what I'm saying. Yes, please respond over here. I'm taking a small pause over here to get responses from you, that are you getting what I'm trying to tell you, that how we're supposed to write down our introduction, our body.
Yes, sir.
Good. Is it okay?
Yes, sir, we are getting.
You get it, right? So this is how you're making your writing beautiful, fantastic. In the starting, you have aroused the interest of a reader. Then what have you done? You have come up to a platform where you're supposed to prove that. I try to compare it with group discussion because it's have the it has the same kind of thought process, because in your group discussion they would also like to know these things from you. They would check that what kind of information do you carry with you, what kind of attitude do you have, what tone do you use, how do you start, how do you present. How do you present means they see that what examples do you see. For example, if there's a speech, they ask you that a present position or the situation of woman in 21st century or in today's time, whatever question, it varies, but the crux of it will remain the same. So you just say this thing, this is today's time is a time of women. Okay, you have started like that, and how long you would expand it like that? You need to come up with examples. You need to quote the example of Hillary Clinton. You need to quote the example of Mrs. Indira Gandhi. You need to quote the example of Chanda Kochar. You need to quote the example of Marie Kom. You need to come up with examples of Sania Mirza. So these are examples which will actually make it easier for a reader to understand your opinion. As I've told you that, I gave you examples of even voting in the family. You know, if you say that I want to vote for A party, I do not want to vote for the B party, you cannot just say this thing because you have a mind or you like the face of a person who stood in the election. You're supposed to have points 1, 2, 3, supporting detail. I am in support of because the candidate who is contesting election from my area, he or she is having these qualities. He or she has done this much work. So you should have points to discuss. You should have things to elaborate. You cannot just talk on the basis of WhatsApp, forwarded messages. Like in today's time, pandemic, it's COVID-19. A lot of people, a lot of messages. We are getting confused. What is actually the situation? So you are a reader over here. You can think of, and by seeing those messages, we are not clear with the situation. What is happening? We are getting confused. One is saying there is no corona, it's just a simple scam. Then there is another message who is saying that people are dying and it's very dangerous. And suddenly we receive a third message, fourth message, fifth message. We are getting confused. So think like that. Tomorrow when you will write a letter to somebody, you will write an essay. So the reader should not get confused that what exactly you are doing. A lot of time people ask that, sir, can we go for 2 ways? Yes, you can go for 2 ways. But what I think that, again, it's my opinion, I would say this thing. Why I believe that when you go for the 2 ways, you are going to get confused and you are going to make confuse your reader as well. Because if you would say that I am inside of A and I am inside of B as well. But if you have got that skill that you can make sure to your readers that, okay, I can let you know about the 2 of things and they would understand it clearly, it's perfectly fine. But my opinion, I suggest we should go for one side. It will be easy for you to support. It will be easy for you if you have to condemn something. Again, I'm saying it's my opinion. I'm not saying it to you. Even in your last lecture, it was clearly mentioned that do not copy whatever your professor is saying. Professor is telling you that how we're supposed to do it. But professor is not saying whatever I am saying, you're supposed to write the same. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you how we're supposed to write it. Okay. So if you are good into it, you can pose both of your opinion. But if I talk about myself, for me, it will be sometimes more confusing if I take 2 of the viewpoints parallel. What I believe that I should go with one point and I should move towards supporting my opinion on it. Like again, I would took it like if there is a contestant number A and B and your family is discussing that tomorrow we have to go for voting, what do you think whom we should vote? And you would say that I think A is also good, B is good, also good. A has this much, B has this much. So what is this? This is you are getting confused and you are making other confused as well. So you need to come up with one because ultimately you cannot choose 2. You have to choose 1. So my opinion. So I believe we should go for these things. That is what they're trying to tell over here. That you classify your essay, which includes examples, use examples, and other supporting details. It depends upon, then they are further clarifying, it depends upon types, kinds, segments, categories. So means rule does not apply to every kind or every type. Rule applies as per kind and type. Because if you are talking uh, about essay, might your body will be different. If you talk about writing a letter to somebody, a business letter, so might you take different tone, you take different examples, or your supporting detail might be different, right? So that is your body part. So let's see, there are a few online sites I was seeing. So what they are saying, we could also see the same over here. There's a site called Masterclass. I was seeing that. What did they say? Let's see. That's a little heavy site. What did they say? Okay. What is body paragraph? Body paragraphs are units of text that offer supporting evidence to back up the thesis statement of an essay. So जो चीज मैंने आपको थोड़ी सी बताने की कोशिश की है simplified way में, they have said the same thing. If you pay attention towards, you underline supporting evidence to back up. So whatever thesis you have written, whatever statement you have made, they are trying to tell supporting evidence is required for the same. Good body paragraph contains 3 sections: a topic sentence, relevant supporting sentences, and a closing sentence. This structure keeps your paragraph focused on the main idea, providing clear, concise information to that. Classic 5 paragraph essay format contains an introductory paragraph, 3 body paragraphs, as I told you, that 2 to 3 paragraphs, and a conclusion. In general, an article, report, or essay can contain as many body paragraphs as the writer needs to establish and explain the main theme or controlling idea. What they tell you, what is body paragraph? They have crystal clear with all these points. They have said that it depends upon the thought process of a reader. If you feel like whatever you want to convey, you have not conveyed it 100%, you can increase the writing. But understand what they are saying. You are increasing the length because you have more matter in your mind. You are not making it chewing gum. There are two things. You are not making it chewing gum. You are not increasing it because you think that if I will increase the length, I'll be more I'll get more marks, or I'll be more famous, whatever, reader or audience will like me. No. They're trying to tell you that you need to increase the length when your mind, it gives you a message that the topic which I have presented through my writing, I have more ideas, more beautiful ideas to explain, to edit in my writing. Then you can increase your length from 2 to 3, 3 to 4 paragraph. It depends upon. Right, as I have given an example of, you have facts related to something. You would always love it. You would always like it. Right? But if you do not have the facts, you are just trying to make it elastic, meaning you are just trying to stretch it on giving, meaningless words. So the reader would understand it, that you don't have a weightage, you don't have a power exactly in your writing. So for the introduction, we were different. For the body, we're supposed to be different. Let's see what other size it says. There is a site that is of, I think, let me see. The first one was of, I think, there's one site that was of Michigan University. So we're going to see that needs to open up. Why is it not opening? Okay. All right. It's open, and yes, it's the side of University of Michigan. So they are explaining about the writing skills. Come up to introduction, get the reader's attention. We just discussed these are the same things. Come up to the body paragraph. Main idea, evidence. Same thing. You have the main idea, okay? Then to support that main idea, you should have the evidence of it. The parts of a paragraph that proves the main idea. You might include different types of evidence in different sentences. Keep in mind that different disciplines have different ideas about what count as evidence as they adhere to different citations styles. Includes citations, facts, statistics, findings, your own experience. If it's a narrative essay and you are explaining, you are talking about your journey to Taj Mahal, for example, your own experience, that it matters. You cannot just say this thing Taj Mahal is very beautiful. You can only say Taj Mahal is beautiful when you have seen it. When you have seen it, because then you can visualize, then you can talk about, okay, it has beautiful scriptures written on the walls of it. You can see a river, Yamuna river, which is flowing across the Taj Mahal. You can talk about those tombs. You can talk about lot many other things. You can talk about Agra Fort because that was your experience. If I have visited, I am talking on the basis of my experience. I would say this thing that the view from Agra Fort to see Taj Mahal was beautiful. So it arouses your interest. The reader would read it. If you would write down Taj Mahal is very beautiful, Shah Jahan has made it for Mumtaz, it has this and this and this. No factual information you are providing, people will show least interest. But you write down lines that when you see the view of Taj Mahal from that window of Agra Fort where Shah Jahan was sitting during his last time, and he was watching Taj Mahal from there, it is marvelous. It is beyond explanation. Write these things and you see the impact on the reader. The reader will feel your own experience. It will be more accurate. It will be more impressive. Okay, so that is what you call writing a body. You should be aware of. So we have compared different sites over here. Even I have posted one of my notes in your Google Classroom. You can even see that. Ultimately, what we are learning, try to listen over here. We are not learning that how we're supposed to write it. Yes, in your paper, essay would come you to write down. Report would come you to write down. Letter would come you to write down. They will not ask you how we're supposed to write down an introduction or how we're supposed to write the other text. But ultimately, you will write down your information on the basis of what we are discussing in these lectures. And once you follow these things and you will use that in your writings, you would find out it will be beautiful. It will be fantastic.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay? Yes, beta.
So
हाँ जी बोलिए.
as you said, while writing the body, you was narrating like as I watch from the window, something like. But sir, how can we use this kind of writing when we talk about the scientific term, like as we know today's, as you know nowadays,
Beta, I think you have not
COVID-19.
listened
So
to me. You have just focused on the point that I have narrated this thing. I used the term that when you write down narrative essay, I did not say that you use this term in a scientific. What happened to you? I never said that you should use this term in scientific essays. I told you very clearly that if you narrate something,
no, sir, I
and
am asking something other.
What you are asking something other? Can
Sir,
you explain?
I'm asking, sir, as you have put these words in narrating, so how can we use that kind of, how can we use something that can enhance the scientific
You
terms
cannot use
also?
these things in a scientific essay because it is said that it depends upon kinds, categories. यही चीज तो आपको क्लियर पहले मैंने क्लियरली बताई है कि डिपेंड्स अपॉन on different, you cannot just apply the same rule in every kind of writing. Every writing is different, so you're supposed to see what kind of information you should use during writing. If it's a scientific writing, of course, it's very much clear that you cannot elaborate it as like narrative essay. There you need to be more based on your statistics, your findings, which is written here in your screen: facts, statistics, findings. Science is based on facts, statistics, findings. If you are talking about COVID-19 and you are explaining the term from the scientific viewpoint, you should have the facts which are related. You cannot say this thing that, you inhale, I am seeing that a lot of, as I've told you, that a lot of videos, some people say that your, what do you call, a lot of foolish things. I would say that they're trying to just tell you that, like the asthmatic inhalers, they are saying that you can use that to, that evaporator, you can use it without putting up the medicine over there. Where is the scientific fact? And next day the person is asking for a sorry. Next day that person is saying that I apologize because this is not a fact. Science does not prove it. I'm not finding any, statistics into it. So when you write down the science, you should know this thing that you should have the clear figures in your hand. Then you should say this thing that, the term is this, fact is saying this thing, because this is equals to this and this. Like chemistry, we can say. If there is a formula, you would write down, like if you add this salt and this salt, then this is going to be the outcome. So scientific writing would always be based on your facts, statistics. It cannot be compared with the narrative essay. We will do it. It is just, I'm trying to tell you that how we're supposed to write it. When you'll come up to write down, then I would, every day will give you different type of essay to write. It could be narrative essay, it could be descriptive, it could be analytical, it could be argumentative, because there are chances argumentative essay it would come into your paper. So they'll give you a topic. This could be a topic, as you have said, that some people think that the tone of a writing, it should be same for every kind of writing. If this topic would come to you in your paper, how would you write it? Right? Then you will explain it with your experience, with your statistics. Like science, it requires exact data. We cannot take chances. This is not a social science, right? Social science, it assumes things. People were saying that BJP is going to win in Bengal, or TMC is going to win in Bengal. That is social science. They assume things on the basis of their assumptions. But you cannot say this thing that if we will put this injection in someone's body, that might person live, might person die. Can you do this? No. We have to be 100% sure. So writing scientific and writing descriptive or narrative is different. All right? Yes, anyone else? Is it clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'm going to, as you all have written down your introductions, what you're supposed to do, I'll make one assignment and would post in your Google Classroom. That would be based on your body. So you can choose any of the topic now. I would not give you the common topic. I would not give you, I repeat, I would not give you the common topic. What you're supposed to do, you will have to choose your own topic and you're supposed to write down the body part. Forget conclusion part, forget the introduction part, focus on the body part, the points we have just discussed, and try to write it down. And I tell you that if you are just going to write down because you think that there is assignment I want to write down, it is going to go into waste because you will not learn it from your heart. If you want to learn it from your heart, choose the topic which you feel like that I am wanting to write it down. It depends upon, I am not forcing you, as I've said that there are different categories. It could be scientific, like it could be technical, you are from different fields. It could be from a computer science field, it could be from a robotics field, it could be from journal experience, whatever you feel like. But don't do it just for the sake of because you think that there is an assignment I should complete it. If you want to learn writing, do it from the core of your heart. All right? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I am checking your attendance over here. There are 63 people. Okay, so I took your attendance. I've seen one tool over here. Present 46 of 97 participants. So I got a tool over here through which I can see. So I'd mark your attendance on the basis of that. Okay. To review this, I will post this session on Google Classroom. You can see that from also. Okay, from there also. If you have got any of the question, you can ask. Otherwise, I should end the meeting. Is it clear to everybody, or do you have got any question? Yes, please. Students, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right. No question? Okay. Fine. Thank you so much. I think I've seen some message over here. Somebody wrote in a chat box, I think. Okay, you started posting your attendance. That's fine. You can do the same as well. But I have marked your attendance because there is a tool which I am seeing over here. With the help of it, I can download those who are present over here. Okay. So you all can leave the meeting. It's up to you. If you want to write down, you can write it down. Otherwise, you can leave it. I have just
Okay, thank you, sir.
okay, thank you so much for your patience and bearing me.